sec. Alexa, all lights on.
Okay, Alexa made a podcast appearance. Okay.
Anyways. All right, let's tweet it out real quick.
Let's get it rolling. The 5 o'clockers.
The 5 o'clock traffic stream.
On your way home. Last day of the work week. Finally had a chance to sit back and relax. You know the Birds got a preseason game on Saturday. What a better way to start your weekend then?
Tomorrow. All right. We got 3 people. Oh, 8, 9, 10. Oh,
10, 11, 12.
12. All right, we can count. All right.
13.
Oh, and we got comments. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, well, Mark Quell for Bowens reposted the stream. Wonderful.
Yes.
Okay. Wonder who that is.
Nice to meet you guys. Friend of
All
the
right.
pod.
Well, welcome everybody to pod number 110. That's a good number. I like a 110. Parth here with Pierre and Quell on a Friday. Hopefully, as y'all are leaving work, hopefully nobody's having to work late on a Friday. Been there, it's miserable, but hoping y'all don't have to. How are you guys doing, man? Both y'all have had the day off, so better be good.
I'm doing good, man. Birthday was yesterday. Turned 25. So
Midlife
had
crisis.
the day off today.
Quarter-life
Yeah.
crisis.
Yeah, quarter life. There legit was one earlier this week, bro.
That was valid. Your whole like Instagram. I'm gonna be 25 in a week. Oh my god, bro! Will you stop it? Stop it.
Man, sitting here like I'm becoming an unk.
I'm getting unkified.
Do y'all buy into the whole your frontal lobe fully develops at 25
Yes.
propaganda?
Yeah.
It's very
I
good.
can be like 100% honest. Like even just over today, like I've noticed the difference. Like there's a noticeable difference for real.
Look at this guy.
No,
For
I,
real,
I,
bro.
I
Like,
genuinely,
don't
I
even,
genuinely don't understand how much of it is placebo. But like, yeah, on my birthday, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, shit, like I'm getting kind of old. Some of the things, like, and now I'm 27, and like I was thinking about it while I was getting my haircut. I was like, some of the things like I just thought were like super fun, and it's fun when you're younger. Like, if you're just doing that the same thing as like an adult, you're kind of a loser, dude. And I was like thinking about that, and I'm like, damn, dude, like, all right, like I guess I'm getting older. I guess this is happening. So
Getting plastered on 12 p.m. on a Thursday.
or just somehow playing video games all day, and you're like, wait a second, like, what just happened? And I'm like, yeah, I'm an adult now. I can't.
Yeah, you're right though. You're right though. I actually, I had me a little free time this morning. Shavit and Shamar, they went to the store. They came back. They sat upstairs for a while before it was time for them to eat. I said, you know what? I can play me a quick game of Madden. Usually my Madden errors is at night. That's usually when I get my trials in. When I finish my little bit of scouting, maybe I got off work not too long ago. Try to get me a little work in and then have some fun. But I'm like, you know what? I'm off today. Let's play a game. I cut that game on and it was like, it's a lot better things I could be doing with my life right now.
I don't want to be that way, dude. I want to keep the party going, but I don't know, man. I don't know. We're all just getting older. It's unfortunate. We're going to be
grandpa,
like 40-year-olds getting on here screaming about 20-year-olds. Who knows? Anyways, Quell, how are you doing, bro?
Well, beloved dub to those who celebrate. I'm feeling awesome, man. What can I say? Had an off day, had a time to relax, had to do some pod prep. Excited to get this rolling, and then we got some preseason football after this. I was scrolling through the TV guide last night, like, yeah, so who plays today? And then I'm looking and I'm like, there's no game on? Why is there no game on?
You watched the Georgia high school game that was on ESPN?
I had no choice.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I wanted some.
I guess some football's on.
Yeah, but I just felt like a fiend. I was like, this is, a fiend just getting something that wasn't good enough. It was like, yo, like.
Dang, I wish I can remember my guy's name. I wanted to give him a shout out on the pod today. I'm glad you said that. It was some 0-star recruit that committed to Army. He just blew a guy up, absolutely demolished him in the backfield. My gosh. I was like, man, this is real football. Welcome back.
Classic. Classic. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too picky now. Like I guess those high school games are good, but I've just never been able to do it. The high school ball. I feel like it just means more in the SEC, and then NFC East. It's just like different. So
yeah, somebody was calling you, say you shut that BS up.
Listen, that was my fiance, and she knows that the SEC means more as well. So she's probably calling to tell me, don't let Quell say anything to dishonor the SEC. He's like, oh, Big 10, Big 12, whatever. Can't choose a name because
it's all right.
We have nothing.
I ain't got no problem with her. My problem and gripe is with the guys at the bottom of the SEC or at the middle who haven't done anything in 10, 15 years trying to parade around.
Wait. Y'all have one good year. Florida's not up there. Y'all got lucky Florida wasn't there because we know what happens when OSU plays Florida in the championships. We know. You know.
Do we? I don't think our listeners are old enough to remember.
I know you are. Anyways, so this week the Eagles had their joint practice with the Browns. Eventful week. A lot of stuff happened. Those people who were excited to see Shador this weekend are going to be disappointed. Abductor, right? Abductor.
I think injury. It's oblique. It's
oblique. Oblique. Yeah. Okay. Oblique injury. So they've kind of been holding him out a little bit. But I think the big news of the week, honestly, was not even the Browns offense, which is obviously not surprising because it's the Browns and it's their offense, but just that their defense looked pretty good. The Eagles struggled against them a little bit in practice. Now, we had AJ and Devontae, were out a little bit here and there as well. So it's not necessarily your starters, but they did struggle. And what I saw that I just kind of was like, damn, but it happens is Myles Garrett was just tearing it up in practice. He was getting his way with Mailata, and then obviously with Brett Toth as well, with Landon Dickerson out. And that also brings us to another little piece of news that Landon Dickerson got a cleanup surgery for his meniscus. So obviously Sixers fans have heard that before. They were talking about PTSD for Eagles fans. I was like, no. I saw meniscus, and this brought up a whole another type of PTSD, a deeper, more visceral and painful type of PTSD. But Dickerson did the cleanup surgery that Joel kind of chose to do, where you can come back a little bit faster. Not necessarily the best long run for you, but as a competitor, he wants to get back, and you can understand that as well. So there's a chance that he'll be back by the regular season, or the beginning of the season, and he could just start the season on the 53. But regardless, it'll just be interesting to see how that position battle plays out. So I just wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on the O-line. Brett Toth, obviously, kind of getting lion's share of those starter reps at the guard position. What are you guys thinking?
I mean,
yeah, on Landon, I think it was good to see after practice. I think that was yesterday. He was walking on it. I think they said he brought like beers out for the O-line and for the Browns. So I think it's it's a good thing that he was walking on it. But at the same time, like you said, the whole Sixers aspect of it does kind of like in the back of my mind. I'm like, he got it cleaned up. He's gonna be ready for the start of the season. But like down the road, you know what I'm saying? Like, is the juice worth the squeeze? I guess is what the question that I have.
I mean, when you talk about a guy in Landon Dickerson who tore his ACL, tore one ACL in one knee, and then tore another ACL in the other knee a few years later, and then you catch him at his pro day doing cartwheels just months before he's supposed to be cleared to do activity and things of that nature. I mean, clearly he's a freak of nature. So, I mean, I'm not too concerned. I saw somebody say, well, thankfully he's walking on it, but I mean, walking on it isn't too hard. That's the easy part after the surgery. Getting back to the physical activity is where things start to get a little muddy. So, I mean, we'll let things play out and see how it go. It was actually me, Parth, that was sitting there like this brought back Eagles memories. While you guys choose to dredge yourself into Sixers fandom prior to the month of February, unlike this guy here, me, I'm full blown into Eagles comics, and all I can remember is Doug Peterson. If Doug Peterson told you a guy was day to day, he was doomed. And if he told you he was week to week, he was dead. Yeah. So hearing the term week to week, it was like, oh no, we might never see him again.
Yeah, but I also think that was a Doug thing, because we have seen guys be week to week and make it back on the Eagles since then. I think.
I mean,
AJ,
Nick is usually very quiet.
Quiet, but
Honestly,
I thought AJ had a
honestly.
week-to-week designation last year. I can't remember, but I thought he had one last year. Maybe something to double check. But regardless, I think he'll be back sooner than we expect because it is. You're right. It is the easier part of recovery, but the fact that he's already up, he's gone through these types of surgeries before. He has experience with coming back from knee injuries. I think he'll be back sooner than we probably anticipate. But Pierre, to your question about is the juice worth the squeeze? I think it's a valid question, but in the same breath, yeah, Landon's very highly paid for the next couple of years, but there's always just kind of been a timeline, right? Like he came out of college, he dropped. He was so talented, but he dropped because of the knee injuries. He's had knee injuries since then, almost every year. There was going to be a timeline on it. So if you're asking is the juice worth the squeeze, if you know you got probably like 3-4 years of playing,
High level.
at a higher level. Sorry,
I was saying high level.
Yeah, exactly. You might just take it, instead of saying like I might lose a whole year because you get the meniscus repair full, then you're out the whole year. You're not going to be back. So if he's looking at it of like, am I going to miss a year of my prime, or do I just get this cleaned up and then deal with it later down the line? Maybe that's the equation. Obviously we don't know, but gotta think that plays a part in it.
Yeah, and then it's a situation where you got to kind of look at it like the timeline of the team, right? Like they're trying to defend the championship. They're trying to go win another championship. So I kind of get your point of view in it. Like if
you're trying to defend
if there's a way, well, yeah, Q. if there's a way for him to be on the field, he's gonna exhaust every option to do so. So I get it.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, I mean, what do you guys think about the O line? Obviously, Brett Toth got a lot of the reps there. Now I'm blanking on who was getting the. It was Matt Pryor. Matt Pryor was getting some of the second string reps. Kenyon Green is still kind of.
To that point, I was kind of surprised Matt Pryor wasn't the first guy up instead of it being Brett Toth, because Pryor, he's a vet. He's been in the Eagles system. Stoutland knows him and everything like that. So I would have thought he would have gotten first crack at.
Yeah, but I think it kind of goes into. I don't think Toth plays tackle. I think Toth is center and guard. And when you talk about his name is blanking on me. What's the guy's name you just said?
Pryor.
Pryor. There it goes.
He can play some tackle
Pryor.
too.
Yeah, he's the swing tackle. He's the big V. And some of they tried to make Andre Dillard, but some of these guys that you can tell the team values that swing tackle. So I don't think it doesn't surprise me at the same time. In the case of another injury, it doesn't surprise that they gave him snaps at guard as well. So
yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying, Pierre, but like Quell said, you got to have that swing tackle flexibility. And I also just think Toth has been in the building more recently, right? Like he's been there. He's worked with these guys. Yeah, Pryor's been here, but majority of the O-line since Pryor was here is not the same anymore, So those reps that Toth has gotten with these guys definitely matter as well.
Yeah, it's worth noting that Sirianni, he was the first. He mentioned him by name. He didn't necessarily commit to. Yeah, he didn't necessarily commit to a start at left guard, but he was like, "quote I like the depth that we have there. I think Brett's doing a really good job and has a lot of versatility." So
that's big. Yeah.
And so while we're on the topic of the O-line, are you guys ready to officially pull the plug on the Kenyon Green experiment? Is it just over?
There has never been plugged in.
Yeah.
We've seen him on the field one day since camp has started. And
it's not been good. So yeah.
And now he's hurt too.
I think Quell put it best. Like the plug was never plugged in. Like it never got started.
Stout had it in his hand, looking at it like something about this plug right here. I don't think it worked.
It's a little bit.
Trying to get I don't know. It sucks because you give up draft capital for it, but at the same time, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and you got to be able to realize that it's a sunk cost.
Yeah.
So, getting into just training camp, the joint practice as a whole, just a quick synopsis of day 1 and 2. And we'll get something that you guys took away from the practices. But day 1, Sirianni said, quoted basically, the team did some good things, but had so many negative plays on the day. I mean, if you check in with local friend of the pod, ESP, he basically explained it the same way. Eagles won the day and they won, but barely by the skin of their teeth. Kind of goes to, like you said, at the
Wait,
top.
Q, wait. Before you continue, I put this in the description, so I gotta ask you guys: do y'all put any stock in the Elliott Shore Parks joint practice record that
Yeah.
he
We had
tracked
this
with the Eagles?
conversation, didn't we? Because he got in trouble,
Did we?
right? Who called him out? It was JJ Watt. JJ Watt was talking about, some people count statistics in practice and stuff like that.
But even to JJ Watt's point, like even when JJ Watt said it, I was on ESP side. I'm a ride with you, brother. And even today, like, it's hilarious enough that people have been giving him so much hell about keeping up with training camp stats. And long behold, who gets asked the question about quarterback and training camp stats? Ben Johnson. And they asked him, yo, Ben, does it concern you that Caleb has been under 70% passing? And in terms of completion percentage, I think he was like 55 or something like that during training camp. And I mean, he like, yeah, it concerns me. I'm trying to get him to learn the offense. I mean, in layman's terms of the quote, he basically was like, I understand that it's camp and all of these things are, I mean, it's not, I don't want to say it doesn't matter, because these are the things you look back on when the season happens, but we want you to miss these passes now so you can make them later. At the same time, I mean, I don't feel comfortable about you learning the offense if you ain't completing the X amount of passes in it. So to see, especially given that ESP's been doing this for years, man, to see where he was, Jalen, as he was at a quarterback, to where he is now, like ESP said something along the lines a few weeks back about how the ball just doesn't hit the ground at practice anymore when Jalen's there. Like, you can tell, you can see the different quarterback he becomes. So I don't necessarily think it's like how last year Jaden didn't throw an interception all camp. I didn't put any stock into that because Jaden threw 15 interceptions the year before that. I hope Jalen didn't throw any interceptions at camp. Please take care of the ball. And then what did he do week one? Come out and threw 2 more. So it happens. But it's just,
I think it's I honestly think it's a little bit of a case of like, usually this is going to be crazy because I'm always like siding with the players, except when they have pods because they're idiots on podcasts. Leave the podcasting to the professionals like us. It's not even a joke, man. Leave it to us. But anyways, it's like, JJ Watt, get off your high horse, bro. Not everybody gets to go to camp. Not everybody gets to see. And everybody, like, if you're really taking the stats and you're like, oh my God, this is how the season's going to be, then like you're probably casual or you just like don't understand it. And it's like, okay, like you need something to talk about at the end of the day. Like, whatever, dude, we're sitting here. We only get access to camp a certain amount of days, like through articles. We only get to see one live practice a year. Hop off, dude. Let us enjoy it. Let us have this. Let us have something to talk about. I think it's ridiculous. There's always so much virtue signaling about it. It's like, oh yeah, like camp stats. And it's like, yeah, they're camp stats. It's right there in the name, camp stats. Like, and if you don't think the team is keeping stats as well of like, hey, in 7-on-7 periods, in 11-on-11 periods, how the team is doing, I don't know what to tell you. And JJ Watt, you play defense, buddy. Yeah, I know practice was different for you, but if you're on offense, yeah, you should be watching how much quarterback is connected with your receivers.
It should be some context into it. Like, yes, Jalen Hurts threw 3 touchdown passes, but they all happen in red zone periods. Mm-hmm. But and if you're a team that your team sucked in the red zone last year, you better feel good about this.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
But that's the thing that I feel like a lot of people kind of miss with it. Like you said, the context of it. Like sometimes they're in red zone, sometimes they're in 3rd and long, sometimes it's 3rd and short. Like it's all context. Like I don't think you can take too much from it, but it does matter.
Yeah, it's just and at the end of the day, it's content, dude. It's something for people to talk about, and like whatever. Yeah, like it's not the end all be all, but you can take it as something more to add to your idea of the team. It's just more information, like you said. It's context. So
it doesn't have to be face value.
Exactly. Take it for or take it at face value. Take it as exactly as it is, and you don't have to just like, oh my God, we're gonna like deep dive into this. It's like, okay, oh look, Eagles defense struggled against the Browns defense. That says something. Okay, the offensive line didn't look great. Oh, okay, well Devontae and AJ didn't play a ton. Oh, all right, that makes sense. Landon Dickerson wasn't in.
Lane Johnson didn't practice.
Right, Lane Johnson was rotating in and out. So it's like, okay, once you realize that, you can put those things into context. But at the end of the day, like brother, some of us are starving, JJ. Like we some of us like just need something, man. Like I just said, we were watching high school football, bro. Like, give us something, dog. Like, yeah. I don't know. That one really annoyed me.
It's sports fans in 2025 though. Like context and narratives and agendas. It's all the rage.
Exactly. And it's just like, dude, like at the end of the day, like ESP is tweeting this. So many people are just like stuck in their like little Twitter universe, but ESP is tweeting this for people who are at work to just talk about things, bro. Like having lived in Philadelphia now, like for years and worked here, people are following ESP, dude. Like they follow the writers from WIP and the Inquirer, and that's how they get their information. And they want something to talk about at work. It's water cooler talk. Like just, hop off the high horse and just let people enjoy the game as they want to, And then when they open their mouths and say something stupid, absolutely tear them apart and call them stupid. But everyone has a right to say what they want. Can't take that away. So go ESP. We're with you, man. Let's go, Quell. Next time the JJ bots come, we're after them.
I was there. But so, all right, a couple questions for you guys as we really get rolling into the pod, camp related, of course. The first being, we have to have our usual cornerback 2 talk.
I was just about to switch the side of the ball to that. Yeah, let's get into that.
So we added another body, apparently, to the cornerback talks. Yes, not only newcomer Jacorian Bennett, who apparently has struggled. It was a lot of excitement to give you guys some perspective as to what happened. He had a great pass breakup early in camp. Not after camp, early in practice a few days ago. And right after that PBU, he allowed multiple receptions, one for a touchdown, including one of those to Gage Larvadan. Shout out to Gage Larvadan. I didn't mean to trash you on Twitter the other day, buddy. My guy. But, he also got flagged for a DPI. So there's that. Now, a guy that I've mentioned a whole lot throughout the camp, throughout the pods, is Mac McWilliams, and a guy who could potentially take some reps from Cooper in the nickel spot. Well, apparently, sounds like the team has put that on pause as he's been taking a whole lot of outside reps over the last few practices as the team has moved Brandon Johnson to the second team nickel to replace him in those snaps. How you guys feeling? Through camp the other day, through these joint practices, it was Quinyon and Nadori in the first team and Keeley and Mac through the second team. Are you guys concerned yet?
Take me to the Brandon Boykin glory days, dude. Take me back. We're here, and hopefully his legs are the same length. Let's do it, dude. I'm here, bro. I'm excited. The thing is I was just listening to the Philly special, and I forget who the guest, Olivia Reiner, was on the pod, and they were talking about the cornerback 2 spot, and she really put it well, where she was like, it hasn't felt like anybody has kind of stolen the moment and been like, I'm here, I'm the cornerback 2, I deserve this, because they brought in another body with Jacorian Bennett, and now they're bringing in another body by, like Quell said, kind of switching things around within the defense. And I think the fact that that Vic Fangio more than anybody is willing to do this and to see how it looks is a really good sign, and shows that like Mac Williams is showing something in camp. Like they're not just doing this for no reason. And frankly, we just need somebody to show something right now. Keeley has had his ups and downs. Adoree Jackson has had his ups and downs. Jacorian Bennett has had his up and other down. So, it's the room is not looking very enticing right now, brother. Like if there's a big worry that I have about this season, it's cornerback 2 and the safety spot. Like those are the 2 spots that I'm the most worried about. O-line and D-line, I genuinely think we'll figure it out. And I think the talent in those units can help make up for some of the issues. And I think honestly, I'd be more worried about O-line than D-line. Like I think D-line is going to look pretty good. But yeah, that cornerback 2 and safety spot is stressing me out. So if Mac McWilliams is coming in and making noise in camp in the good way and being like, hey, like I deserve some looks for this spot, even if, he's not the biggest guy or whatever it might be, like, hey, there's small corners who've had success too, as Quell likes to point out. So I love it, dude. We want the best players out there. And if this is the way to get the best players on the field at once, you do it.
Yeah,
You're
I
on
think
mute.
for me, this is
I must say before you go, Pierre, this is not a score one for the Eli Ricks camp.
He had like that good day
yeah,
after we stopped recording, and then I just haven't heard much about him this week. So
yeah. Yeah, but I think this was probably for me. This is like worst case scenario because neither Adoree Jackson or Keely Rango have like shined, like you said. Parth, no one has kind of staked their claim to the CB2 spot. And so for Mac, I know Vic gave him praise in a press conference maybe about 2 weeks ago, and to kind of see that he's kind of translated that into I think didn't he get first team reps on the outside?
I
Yeah.
think so.
So
A few, but
yeah.
mostly second.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to see that it's definitely encouraging. It kind of puts me in the mind of Vontae Maddox from his rookie year when I know he started a couple of games outside corner, and I know Mac is kind of on that smaller side, but it seems like he's competed. For him to, like I said, be getting those first team reps, it's a huge thing.
I mean, Vic. I don't know. It's an interesting conversation for me. I mean, I'm excited that they've given him the opportunity. You guys know I love Mac. And apparently Vic does too. Vic has spoken volumes about how he loves the skill set. He loves how the player plays football. The term
Football
I believe
savvy.
football savvy was the term he used. So he liked the swagger he come with. He passes the Pierre aura test. But he also mentioned how I don't want to say it kind of gave me Sidney Brown vibes because I don't think he plays with his hair on fire. I mean, plus the downhill kind of thing. I think it's more so like you're so talented, but I need you to understand what you're being asked to do in this defense specifically. So it's interesting that Vic is willing to cross train him because I don't think Vic, I mean, they did it last year with Quinyon and it didn't matriculate to anything, but I don't think Vic really, while he loves the versatility, he also values skill sets that players bring to the specific defense. Like, I don't think he want to have him on the outside. Now, like you said, Pierre, it's kind of the worst case scenario where they kind of grasping for straws. It seems like they're not really satisfied from what they're getting from Adoree or from what they're getting from Keely. They're giving guys like Mac a chance. They're giving guys like Jacorian a chance, even though it doesn't seem to be going well so far. Could this be the Achilles heel for the team this year? I don't know, but this isn't
Hashtag give Eli Ricks a shot.
I think he is getting a shot, but I'm gonna push back against both of you because while I see what you guys are saying about this is only happening because the other guys haven't, staked their claim. I think at the end of the day, like I said, this is Mac McWilliams trying to stake his claim, and it's not necessarily them trying to cross train him. This might just be like, hey, we think you could just play outside corner. We don't know the inner working, so it really just depends on how you're looking at it. It's very much a perspective question at this time with the lack of context that we have from inside the building. But to me, I see it as like, hey, we have this rookie who's playing really well. It's not necessarily like, hey, we're going to cross train you to play outside, but like, dude, if you can play, the spot is yours to take. I think it's very much like the spot is open. So as much as he's getting a shot, I think Eli Ricks is going to get the shot, and it's going to be like, who's going to take it? Because they're clearly frustrated, dude. Like, they're clearly frustrated. You go and trade Thomas Booker for Jacorian Bennett. You're trying these things out. Like, they need something to work out. So, I just see it as like an opportunity that he can take, and I think he could take that and run.
So this kind of leads me to another question, where I've seen some rumbles of some people talking about the idea of Cooper DeJean becoming the outside cornerback. If that were to happen, just playing semantics here, if that was to happen, who do you think takes the role at the nickel?
I don't think you can do it. I think you
Mac.
can. You probably put Mac there, but I don't think you can do it because, like the two spot. I'll take it back to what I just said when I kind of started talking here. Is two spots that worry me: safety and corner, and cornerback too. Now, if you put Cooper out there, sure, you solve cornerback too, and hypothetically, both sides of the field are islands. What's going on in the middle of the field? I do not have any faith in just only Reed, really. Like you have two rookies there, essentially. You know, Sidney Brown hasn't really played. If Makuba wins it, he's a rookie. So it's Reed back there all by himself. And Reed is damn good, but I don't feel comfortable putting all of that on him. Now you put Cooper back there, and you have Cooper with the versatility of switching in and out of safety, and then, ideally, if somebody was able to take over outside corner instead of Mac, you could have that flexibility of moving Cooper around. But if it's a numbers game, I want Cooper in the middle of the field, dude. You need that eraser there with Reed. I would not want to just put him outside and then not be able to use him as much around the field. He wouldn't be a chess piece anymore. He would just be your outside corner.
I mean,
yeah, and that's kind of my thing with it too, Parth. Like if you stick Cooper at outside corner, to me, you're kind of taking away a superpower, which is his versatility, right? Like that's the thing that everybody's harped on with him, like the Swiss Army knife, positionless football, everything like that. And so just sticking him at outside corner, it kind of, I'm not gonna say negates, or you're not gonna say negates, but it kind of takes away from who he is as a player.
I mean, I respect why you guys would say that, but all I continue to think about during this conversation specifically is Vic Fangio's quote about, well, how often did we play base last year, when he got asked about Coop, the potential of Coop playing safety. And then his whole thing right after that was, we had something that we didn't do often. So, I mean, it's something we're trying out. At the same time, don't think that we're just a specific kind of defense, or we play defense a specific kind of way. We played so much nickel last year because it worked for the personnel. Way it's coming right now, it doesn't seem like it will work for the personnel. So there are changes that could happen. I don't think it necessarily takes away from him being a Swiss Army knife. I think it kind of goes to show, actually, I think it's the opposite, kind of show you how talented he really is, because this is a guy who they value as probably the best nickel corner in football, in this building at least. And they believe that he can play safety so much that they're putting him in safety reps. So if they believe that he can lock down an outside side, that doesn't mean that when it's time to go nickel that he won't rotate in, and they just come up with a different idea as to what to do on the outside. But it's just kind of getting your best 11 players on the field on each down.
Agreed, but I still think that if you put if you put Cooper at outside corner, I don't think you're able to get your best players on the field. Because even if you're right, they might not run a ton of nickel, because like we just talked about, who's going to play nickel if Reed's not playing nickel. I still think you play him at safety. Oh my God, I did it again. It's because I'm about to talk about Reed. Reed is like is so good, but like he needs help too, right? Yes. Even in base. And so I think you put Cooper back there with him, you get your exciting whites at safety. I think that's the base look that you would rather have. And then I just think safety is a more high impact position than cornerback too, right?
Especially just think, in this defense.
Exactly. They're just able to do more with him. Maybe they can put him closer to the line. Maybe they put him farther back, whatever it might be. With cornerback too, you're just kind of siloed off there. And I understand what you're saying, but I guess it would just come down to whether you trust the backup safeties more than the other cornerback twos. And I don't know. I just think safety, huh?
I think they do.
You could be right, but
I just to your point, or that you mentioned earlier, where you was like safety and cornerback is stressing you out. I'm like, I mean, don't get me wrong, we got a competition at safety, and I mean, Sidney Brown is running around like a man with his head on fire. Doesn't make the room look good, but I don't think they're really concerned about that. No, I think they love the depth that they have. I think they have the answer in the building, and I think that's valid. But let me put it this way. If cornerback 2 is already going to be struggling, regardless, right? It comes down to like, how do I want to allocate these resources? So, I'm trying to think through how I want to say this. Like, if you have a rookie at safety, I just think there's more of a chance of high impact plays happening on that guy than there would be at cornerback 2, because at cornerback 2, you would have the safety's help, right? Like if you have somebody back there who has experience at safety, understands everything, they're able to help. Cornerback 2 can't really go over and help a safety as much, right? So that's where I just kind of think like, okay, if I have to put a weak link in my defense, I put him at cornerback 2. And then I want everything else to be just operating at the highest rate possible. And then we can, go and help the cornerback 2. I can put
Cooper as a shade on the cornerback to help him out.
Yeah. To your point, to your point. I mean, we've seen snaps last year when Darius Slay went out, and they had basically Quinyon, who becomes the default CB1. I mean, still stays on his side, but default CB1. And you got one of the guys in the game who, I mean, shout out to Isaiah Rodgers for the high level football he played. We would not be in this position, man.
We missed that right now.
But I mean, just in general, like you said, you were able to protect CB2 much more than you're able to protect the safety in this defense. It's a very interesting conversation, and with us being 20 days from start of the season, it's not one that you want to be having.
No, man.
You guys bringing up Isaiah Rodgers, it brings up a question to me where it's like, if you're gonna let Slay walk, why not make sure you bring back Isaiah? And I get it, money and cap room
in the building. I mean, you heard with everything that they said. I mean, and it wasn't just Howie, it was Nick, it was Vic. They all echoed this, not even just about how well he played, but just they all echoed the same sentiment of, look, we got hell of a lucky last year. And we talk about the production we got from Coop and Quinyon because they were rookies, but we don't talk about the production we got from guys like Milton, who didn't play a boatload of snaps prior to that. Guys like Zach Bond, who he wasn't even predicted to be in this spot. Like, they needed a lot of production from people who hadn't been there before. Yeah. And they're repeating the same sentiment now this year. Like, that's kind of the way that they're going about it. They're still the youngest defense in all of football. You're one of the youngest teams in all of football where, look, we need young players to make impact plays. So, I mean, we'd love to bring Isaiah Rodgers back, but I think he kind of played himself out of our price range with how well he had, with all the opportunities he had to play with Slay going down or with anything with him getting on the field. They saw him play high level football. And I mean, you as the Eagles, as in the front office part of the conversation, I can understand. I mean, look, we spent draft capital on this guy. You got all the guys that he's played around for what has been like the last 8 years now. Like, they're basically family. You're playing football with your family. Like, we're putting you in the best possible position to make this work. It's up to you to make this work at this point. So I'm not really mad at the process. It's more upset at the results.
Dude, as you lay it out like that, dude, I kind of have a problem with the process where it's like both these guys, you have Isaiah and Slay leaving the building, and you're right, Quell. Like, you can be high on a guy, but like, I mean, was he so much better in practice last year? Like, I'm based
on what they were saying. Yeah, Christian Parker, he was
right. So I'm just so confused as to
it's a thing. It's a thing where it's like you got to kind of make sure all your bases are covered, because there was always a chance that, Keeley wouldn't kind of, really be who they thought he could be. Yeah, he couldn't pan out. So, like, you have a guy in Isaiah Rodgers who showed he could play in the system. You would think, knowing how he operates, you'd think he'd dot all his I's and cross all his T's. Is all I'm saying.
And honestly, I'll say this.
I think about him pricing himself out.
So that's what I was about to say. I think you were going to say that he was pricing himself out. I just think you need to do something else too, other than
Adoree.
Yeah,
I know. It's a two-faced thing because Vic says, I mean, I really didn't want him. That's a Howie fan in it. It's a whole
yeah, we've just kind of we're in Quell's words, we're stuck between a rock and a hard place right now, where it's just kind of like there's no real good answer. I don't know what practice was like last year, but I mean, frankly, it doesn't look like a very different Keely Ringo. Like, I mean, he looks about the same, because he looks like hella intimidating when he walks out there. You're like, all right, like, let's see what he's got. He'll have like a nice couple like physical plays, and then he just gets dusted, and he'll take a terrible angle, bro. Like, I really don't understand the angles he takes. Like, you've been in the league now, what, 3 years, right? Three years?
And that's the thing. You practice against AJ Brown. You practice against AJ Brown every week.
Practicing against AJ Brown don't teach you how to run side to side.
Okay, brother, go cover Devontae Smith.
It's not even about the side to side. What frustrated me most about the Jamar touchdown was the angle he took. Like, it's just like, dude, you're supposed to go to where he's gonna be, not to where he is right now.
He does not move well laterally. That's the issue.
It was going downhill. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it wasn't even like an athleticism issue. It was an issue of him just not playing him correctly. And Vic said as much. He said he needs to use the sideline. Like, he literally just took off exactly for where Jamar was, as if Jamar wasn't going to turn and run out of there. Like, I'm like,
But
dude, you've been here a long time. Reps are important, but these are some fundamental things they try to teach you in a cornerback room of like, use the sideline. That's your extra defender.
And that's my question. Like, how much of it can you just attribute it to, oh, well, he hasn't seen really in-game reps.
He doesn't
like
have the reps, and that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
But I mean, they spent all this time, and I mean, Vic talked about this. They spent all this time talking about mental rep. Mental reps only do so much. At some point, you got to get on the field and you got to do something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I totally understand that. But again, it comes down to the question of like how he needs to be dotting his I's, crossing his T's. And like, if you know this guy doesn't have a ton of reps, you know you're depending on a lot. We all knew it, right? Like even last season, we kind of talked about it. We're like, they're really hoping on Keeley, but like it's still definitely a question mark. Yeah, he needs reps, but like how many reps do you have to give? Like we talked about with Landon's window, like he's coming back because he thinks he's competing for championship, right? Like you can't really be a championship team and have like a cornerback 2 out there who's learning. And that might be what we have to do. And then, it's on the defensive coordinator to adjust and the defense to have to play to that. But, it's not putting your team in the best position to win. And I know it sounds like we're just like cooking Howie after, it's just been Howie season for so long. But like, dude, these things are important, and these things can be an Achilles heel.
Adoree Jackson can't be your plan B, bro. we all watched him suit up for the New York Giants. We know he's cooked, man.
Yeah, but we also watched James Bradbury suit up for the New York Giants.
That's true. That's true.
It's a big difference from playing cornerback 2 on a team that is just devoid of talent, and me just basically needing you to come in and do the bare minimum to succeed. I'm asking you on a 1-year deal. I'm trying to get you paid as much as you possibly can for the rest of your career. All you have to do is the bare minimum. And I don't want to say he hasn't been given a fair shot because, I mean, obviously they're the ones who they keep trotting him out there for SCB1. But I also don't think Vic really cares about – I don't want to say cares about him, but the prospects of him and his defense. It was never really on his radar. I mean – if that's what you want, Howie, I might could make it work, but this wasn't really on my idea.
The thing is like if he played well, we talked about this because I was talking about how Adoree was just like, oh, like he's liked tough coaching in the past and those types of things. And he liked Vic, but only way to change a coach like Vic's mind about you is to play better, and he hasn't. He's played worse, and so maybe you're right, Quell. I think maybe it's unfair of us to say how he didn't, cross his T's and dot his I's. I think it's more so like. We just made the wrong moves, and that can always happen. It's about how you adjust now. Football, you're not always going to have both cornerback spots and everything taken care of. So
you just sat here and talked about Landon and chasing a championship. And
dude, no, I'm not trying to take away from that. What I'm trying to say is like,
no,
it's football. You got to find a way to win.
It's more so a Howie question now, where I mean. So we sat here and we joke about the Kenyon Green move, and then here we are with Adoree Jackson, maybe not working. And I mean, this isn't saying fire Howie or anything by any metric, but these are the differences between a championship team and getting closer to the pack right now.
Yeah, but it's like nobody shoots 100% from the field. So
yeah, but right now during the offseason, what are you shooting? I mean, you got to hope your rookies pan out, and we believe that they will, but based on some of the guys that you brought in, I mean, and he said we weren't going to spend a lot of money or bring in high impact players. So it's not like he lied to us. It's just
the results haven't been what you've wanted them to be.
Yeah, that's why I say I'm not mad at the process. I'm just upset with the results.
Yeah, I think that's why I changed my mind a little bit. Like it's not the process wasn't bad. I think you're right about that. But and it's always like you can go back and you can rehash history however you want. But now it looks bad, right? But even then, I guess the Kenyon Green one, we were just kind of like,
that's just absurd.
What was this one for? It just felt a little reactionary. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. But I think we're all kind of in agreement that the two biggest Achilles heels on this defense are going to be the defensive backfield. But at the same time, I think that's where you also have some of the best talent on your team. And I also think that's where you have some of the best coaching on your team. So the onus is on them to pick it up because, hey, sometimes Howie can miss. And that's how it is, dude. And now maybe people will shut the hell up if Jalen wins the championship with a bad cornerback too. Maybe they just can't always be like it's Howie all the time. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Still got 2 weeks of preseason. You gotta hope somebody stakes claim for themselves. Plants their flag and it's like, no, I'm the cornerback too. So
I got one more start.
The Eli Ricks FC stand up.
Let's go, dude. I have to. I was so big on that class of GDFAs, him and Josh Jobe. I was like, let's go, dude. We might have found 2 starters. I think I even
Josh Jobe. Didn't Josh Jobe still on the team? No, I think he played for Seattle.
Yeah,
he got an interception the other week.
Yeah,
the first week of the preseason. I'm like, look at Josh Jobe out there doing this thing. But so one more stock conversation question for you guys before we get out of here. I mean, we might have a little something for it after this, but just a stock conversation question. So how the team, I talked about this on Twitter the other day, but the team's approach to the offseason, how they choose to care for the players, for lack of a better term, coming off a Super Bowl run has been very intriguing to me. I mean, up to this point, I don't remember what reporter it was that asked this question, but we had a reporter that asked in Nick's press conference that up to this point, we've only had 3 full practices with AJ and Devontae present together. And like I said the other day, I talked about how guys like Lane, it was Lane, Bond, Brown, Barkley, Johnson, just basically stalwarts of the team on both sides of the ball who have missed practices, a multitude of practices up to this point. And I understand what it's like after playing a long season, trying to keep your guys healthy, be ready to play the long game again. But we also talked about last season. I think because we won a championship, all of this becomes a blur to us. But we spent the whole lot of the season talking about how Jalen and AJ and Smitty didn't play a whole lot of reps together, and it played a part as to why the offense didn't look as good as it possibly could. And here we are in the offseason where, I mean, yes, the offseason, but y'all repeating the same cycle. How are we going to have a new play caller, get in a rhythm? I mean, kudos to Jalen, who it sounds like he's done everything possible. He's basically lived in Kevin Patullo's office to try to keep the ball rolling. But how are we supposed to keep this show on the road if you don't have your guys out there? And I mean, it's for the right reasons, keeping them healthy. I mean, hamstrings can be tricky, and we knew how it was for AJ last year. So I guess the question is, does it concern you, the approach? I mean, they didn't even have their guys out there for joint practices, and we know how much they value those. So how do you guys feel about the process right now?
I heard a little, tinfoil hat theory on that same Philly special pod. Could these guys not really just be practicing so the younger guys can get some reps here and we can see what we have? Because unlike past years, there's actual competition in the receiver room. Obviously, 1 and 2 are taken care of, but there's been legit competition in the 3, 4, 5 position, however many you might want to say they have on the roster. But there's been real competition in between those guys, and I think there is some validity to thinking like, maybe, these guys might be a little bit dinged up. They're coming off a long season. Hey, dude, just rest. We know what we have, with you. You guys trained over the offseason together. We all know AJ and Devontae and Jalen do that. So let's see what these younger guys got. We might need them throughout the season, and let's get them some reps. I heard that and I was like, that could be kind of true, because it's kind of been like, oh, one day he's here, one day he's there. And, Quell, it's an astute observation to say, like, we forget about it, like that's what last season was like a lot. Saquon and Jalen were really just like the constants throughout the season. But yeah, I once I heard that, I was like, there could be some validity to this, because that competition is real. There's a lot of guys that we've talked about on this pod, from Elijah Cooks to Terrace Marshall to Darius Cooper. And obviously Jahad Dotson. So a lot of guys back there fighting. Johnny Wilson, Pierre's guy, Anaya Smith. So a lot of guys.
Jeffrey.
Right.
Alshon Jeffrey.
Alshon Jeffrey and Steve Smith Sr. but yeah, I don't know. I'd like to hear what you guys think about that as well, because that was on my mind. But if they are injured, Quell, it's gonna be a long season, brother, because we're not gonna have a cornerback too, and we might not have receivers. So I don't know what the hell we're gonna be doing.
Yeah,
We got a super team. We're all right.
It's interesting because I kind of see both sides of it. Because on one hand, it's like earlier in camp, you read the report where AJ was like, "Oh, Jalen just said one thing, or he gave one hand motion, and I immediately knew what to do," and everything like that. So the chemistry is obviously there. Like they've played a ton of snaps together and everything like that. But on the other hand, it's like there is a new play caller, right? Like, although they said that, some of the language is still going to be the same, it's still a new offensive approach. There's still going to be a new approach on a weekly basis. So you kind of want to get that, I guess, chemistry in terms of like the play calling and everything like that. You want to get that down pat.
Timing.
But yeah, and it's like offensively, like between quarterbacks and receivers, timing is everything. Like, and of course, yeah, the chemistry is there, but like again, you got a new guy at the helm. So you want to get as many, reps as you can before it actually counts.
Yeah, man. And I mean, I've kind of gone back and forth with it. Parth, I actually never really thought about what you just said, where it might give me another way to approach it or kind of contemplate it. But for me, maybe you are right. And you've heard Jalen and a bunch of other sources talk about how, the relationship with Jalen and Jahan has gone through the roof this all season. Jalen, he's actually targeting him.
I've never seen so many reports. Oh, Jalen Hurts targeting Jahan Dotson a lot today.
Yo, like he's part of the offense now. So it does feel good about that. Hell, you see the performance Johnny Wilson had last preseason game after not doing nothing all camp. And you see today, he had first team reps, and Jalen Hurts, he caught a nice high ball from Jalen Hurts. Like,
they're finally getting that timing down, right?
Darius Cooper was taking first team reps.
You heard AJ Brown is taking him under his wing, so it could be good for something. So there's definitely not something I have contemplated, especially even in the running back room, where it sounds like based on ESP and his reports, they've given Saquon more touches in camp than he had last year. Hell of a lot more than he had last year. But you can also see Will Shipley, and even today, AJ Dillon was probably like the star of the show. Well, not today, the other day, where AJ Dillon was the star of the show. You can see his physicality on display, what they said. So it's getting the opportunity for a lot of players to get shine that probably wouldn't, which helps, of course. Maybe I'm just looking at it in a negative light because of what happened last year. Where and not even just last year, because you guys said something about how there's whole hell of a lot more competition going on. And when was the last time you seen this much competition in this Eagles building, man? And it's not to say that they continue to speak on they want to breed competition. They want competition at every position. And it's been like this for years, but you've never seen it like this to this point.
You gotta have good players.
Yeah.
Like, beyond like the top couple. Like you have to have like actual guys competing for. Like they're playing so well that they'll actually get targeted now. Like you said, Quell, like Jalen is targeting these guys. And so I don't know. So definitely, credit to, I forgot her name again. Olivia Reiner, right? I think that's what I said. They said her name was from the pod, because I thought it was a great observation that had me thinking about it as well. But like you said, Pierre, I also think I think it's very true that you have to make sure you have like the timing down on routes. You got to make sure you have your spacing. And now a lot of it is like riding a bike for these guys, because they've been doing it at a high level for a lot of years. They've had different play callers just about every year as well. So it's nothing new to them, but I think we'll know that it's kind of been the case if last week of the preseason we start seeing more AJ and Devontae out there instead of the other guys. And I think that would kind of be an indication that they were giving these guys a little bit of rest. They were letting the younger guys get some run. Now, we're getting down to brass tacks. And now if they struggle to start the season, we'll all be losing our minds respectively. But I think it's something interesting to watch. I think it's a good call out.
Eric, before we get out of here, what's one thing you guys will be watching for on tomorrow at 1 p.m. when the Eagles
clearly not Shedeur Sanders.
More Dylan Gabriel. You're going to take this Dylan Gabriel and you're going to like it, buddy.
I'm gonna be.
They blitz him all day.
I hope so, bro.
Is Garrett playing?
It's nothing against. Well, it's everything against you, Dylan. Oregon sucks. I
don't think so.
Did they beat you guys like 2 years ago? Is that what it was?
No, they beat. Well, it doesn't really matter. I mean, they beat us, and then we eviscerated.
Oh, and then you guys won the playoffs, right? Yeah.
But my man Pat say, "Oh my goodness, Jeremiah Smith is wide ass open."
He looked cooked after that game. Dylan Gabriel after the OSU game, he looked cooked on the field. Boy, his eyes were red. He was like, that was funny. Well, if the defensive guys are playing, I'm just gonna be watching the O-line. You can get your ass kicked during practice, and that's fine. But like, if we got live reps and we're still kind of getting our ass kicked, like O-line, like lock in a little bit. Obviously, this is a good D line, and Myles Garrett is probably the best player in the league. But Jordan Mailata, you're one of the best players in the league too. So we need you to cement that spot as well, because frankly, we've seen that a lot. Like where Jordan is like damn good so many games, so many weeks, and then he'll just like have a game where he really struggles. So just want him to cement himself as like the all-pro talent that he is. Like I genuinely think he's at that level. You just gotta play like that throughout the season. So I'll be watching that. What about you guys?
I'm watching the cornerback room, man. We spent a huge amount of time on this pod talking about it, but
of course,
bro,
take the layup.
Somebody has to shine, man. Like you got Mac, you got Adoree, you got Keeley, Eli. Like somebody has to step up and take.
I'll be honest, I don't think it's going to be this week. I think if anybody steps up, it's going to be like next week or like the week after. But like this week has just been such a weird mishmash.
One game left,
brother. I know. Yeah. I know. We're right up on it. I know.
Man, they're gonna step up against Air. Somebody has to.
I genuinely think this could be like something where it's like the last week of training camp, and we have no idea who's going to be cornerback 2. Yeah, someone could have like a good week, and they could be just cornerback 2 de facto, and then they'll rotate throughout the season if they suck. Like that we could just be doing what is it?
Cornerback by committee.
By committee, thank you. That's
has that ever happened?
I'm sure it has.
100%, bro. There's no way it hasn't, and I'm sure the Eagles have done it too.
Out there when it's time to run man, another player out there when it's time to run zone. You got one guy for the blitz, man.
Oh my God, dude! Just tell everybody what you're running every time someone comes on the field. Oh, he's out there. It's man. It's man. It's man.
Telling you, look, you got prepare for the team in front of you, okay? But if there's anything that I have the chance to look for, I mean, outside of just the cool homecoming of shorts with Jim Schwartz and Deuce Daly back in South Philly. Shout out to the guys.
Deuce is on Cleveland staff?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was still in Detroit.
Nah, he gone. But if I had to say something that I would look forward to, it'd probably just be the continued reps at edge, man. How they continue to deploy these snaps. How much Campbell do we see there?
To your point, to the edge point, we didn't get to talk about it, but from the same pod, Azeez Ojulari was mentioned this week as kind of having some good reps, this week. So something to watch, because obviously, like you said, those are that depth there is going to be important.
Yeah, and that's another thing I've just been excited for. I mean, we got pads on, we got real competition against real teams. We keep hearing about how nobody set themselves ahead. Maybe they've been waiting for the nitty gritty to happen. So I'm excited to see if somebody can set themselves apart. Outside of that, maybe the offensive line, man. I mean, of course, Brett Toth should be up with the first team if he plays. I mean, I'm sure that they're going to get him reps. He has to get reps. But how would they continue to deploy the snaps behind him now? I mean, Matt Pryor, where do they continue to use Trevor Keegan? Does he continue to get center snaps, or is he just legitimately a guard now because of the injury? We'll see.
Absolutely, and this is a good point. Where the defenses mirror each other. It's both talented. They run similar styles of defenses, but we appreciate you joining. I haven't seen this name before, so thanks for joining and commenting, dude. More of y'all need to comment. We got 81 of y'all, and I know like you guys are Philly fans. Like you're not silent. Y'all always have something to say. So make sure you
Beloki. Shout out to Beloki for carrying.
Shout out Beloki. But I also wanted to say, as we're getting out of here, next week we're gonna have a very, very special guest on the pod. So make sure y'all are locked in. It's gonna be at our normal time, Thursdays at 8:30. Be there, be square, man. This one, we're really excited about this guest. So make sure y'all don't miss it, and please get active. Tweet at us and comment in here, dude. We really want y'all to.
Yeah. I don't think it's a stretch to say this is probably going to be the biggest guest we've had on our pod. Like
on this
huge.
one, 100%.
It's gonna be huge.
On the Philly Blitz pod, 100%.
Yeah.
We had for lore listeners of Philly Blitz, we had somebody who this person worked with on a former podcast. We had them on P's and Q's. This person's coworker. So, very excited about this guest. Be here next week. All 85 of you. Ocho Cinco. Go Birds.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yeah. Yep. And also, if y'all are interested in like a potential live pod of sorts of seeing us, or making something happen, week 1, the Cowboys game, let us know. Tweet at us. We know like y'all are listening to this. You guys retweet the pod and stuff.
We will be in the city.
We'll be in the city. So please just tweet us so that we can figure these things out. If we want to make this happen, we have to gauge interest first. So let us know what you guys think. If you guys want to do it, we would have a lot of fun.
Get active with a little tailgate action.
Something. See Pierre shotgun a beer and say, "Go Eagles!"
I had never seen Pierre shotgun something, but I already know he's like he'll have like half the beer left. He's like, "Oh, I'm done, bro. I'm done."
Hey man,
like, what did you do in college, son?
Hey, parade day. I feel like I held my own.
You didn't shotgun any. Shotgunning is different. It's different. It's a lot of carbonation at once.
I'm telling you,
it's not easy. It's not even an insult, but you just like. You didn't shotgun enough beers in your day, so like it's honestly it gets gross sometimes, bro. You gotta just accept it. So we'll make Pierre shotgun a beer if we make this happen. So if y'all want to see that, tweet at us, please. But appreciate you all as always. We'll see y'all next week. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.